Hi folks, this is Vicki at patternprincess.com. Today I wanted to show you a really cute project. This uses thread yarn, and if you've ever seen those spools of thread and you're wondering what to do with them, this is a nice little project. All you need to do, this is an earring. All you need to do now is put a little earring hook that'll go through your ear right here. And I've made a little loop out of 2 chains and put it going back into the original spot here with a slip stitch where that hook is going to go. And so I have 2 of them here. They're about 1 inch in diameter. Aren't they cute? Just a cute little project. And I love the color for fall. It's just about the end of August here as I'm starting this. And this yarn is crochet thread. It's a number 10. And this pattern, or this wrapper, says to use a 1.5 millimeter hook. I'm actually using a number 1, and it's a 2.75 millimeter hook. And it's just a little steel hook. You can see a little bitty how small that is. And it is, it's the same concept as you would be using worsted yarn. I'm going to work this actually using this yarn here. I'll do a whole little earring. It's just 3 rounds. And then I'll work it using some worsted yarn. So this is what the yarn, or I should say the thread, looks like. It's just one of these it's usually wrapped thread cones. And I actually bought it at Goodwill years ago. And it was on sale. There was a whole bunch of them in a package that, you know, all kinds of yarn pieces. And I finally have decided I'm going to use it. So here we go. I'm going to show you what I did. So the first thing, here's the tail of my yarn. The first thing I'm going to do is do a magic circle. And so I just bring the yarn around. I usually do 3 fingers. Bring it around. And then I'm trying to have the phone close today to tape this so that you can see this fine yarn. So bring it through. And then I hold this. There we go. Pull it snug and bring my hook through and pull that snug. Now I have it's secure. I could let it go. It'd be fine. But now I'm going to pull the tail a little bit tighter so I can have a little bit nicer, smaller area to work in. Okay. So now we're going to start. So on every round we're going to do a chain 1, which will not count as anything. And then inside this magic circle here, we're going to do 12 single crochet. So here we go. Yarn over, bring it through, yarn over, and go through 2 loops. That's 1, 2, 3, and it can be a little bit hard, 4, when you're not used to working with this little yarn, but it's okay, it'll come. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, and I'm going to make the loop a little bit bigger so I don't lose that loop. Okay, so here we go. We got our 12 stitches. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull my yarn and I'm going to close that up. So I have a teeny tiny, very small center. Now I got to make sure I'm using the right yarn here. Okay, I got to make sure I grab the right yarn. I keep saying yarn, it's really a thread. Now I'm going to close this loop up. So remember we had that first initial chain stitch, we didn't count anything. So I need to go through these 2 loops right here. The very first single crochet. And I'm going to, yarn over, bring it through, and bring it through again. That's a slip stitch. I am now closed on my first round, and I can make this a little bit smaller here too. I can pull this a little bit smaller, but that's a pretty good size. Okay, so now I'm going to, for the round 2, we're going to chain 1. Again, does not count as anything. And then you got to really look close. Here was a crochet, here was a single crochet, here was 1. Okay, you got to go through just like you would the bigger yarn. You got to go through the 2 loops. So we're going to do another round of single crochet, but we did a chain 1. So back in that first, whoopsies, that first stitch where we were, if I can get in there, there we go. We're going to do 2 single crochet, and we're going to do 2 single crochet in each one around. 1, 2, and here's the next one. 1, 2. You see that? And here's my next one. So that's why I'm going to do this in worsted yarn, because it might be a little bit too small for you folks to see, even though I do have my camera set really close to my work. And in this, the first round, of course, you have 12 stitches total. And in this one, you're going to have 24. So if you wanted to count your stitches to make sure that you were right, you would have 24. And I got to double check. I just did 1 in that one. We're almost there. I can feel it, the stitches with my fingers. And don't worry about that yarn tail. We'll be cutting that off at the very end. I used my hook to weave the thread in at the very end to make sure that when I was done with round 3 and done with my little hook spot, to make sure it wouldn't come out, I went about 4 or 5 stitches one way and a couple the other next way, just to make sure. Nope, I got to pull this out because I didn't do 2 in that stitch. I did 2 there. Sometimes it can be hard to see. 1, there we go. 2, we're getting close. 1, 2. Now we're back at the beginning here, and right here there's a stitch, right here. So we got to make sure we get that last one. Otherwise, if we try and close it, we're going to have a gap. There we go, and then we're going to put our yarn through here, and then do our slip stitch. And there is our round 2. So it's looking good. We just have 1 more round to go. Again, we're going to do our chain 1, which doesn't count as anything. It just helps close up and make a gap. Any gaps there, it helps close it up, so you can't tell where you started and stopped. That's why I like doing that chain 1. It's just a cheat. So then in the first spot in this one, we're going to do 2 single crochet in the first one. 1, 2. And then in this next stitch right here, we're just going to do 1. Okay, all the way around we're going to alternate 2 single crochet and 1. That way you're increasing, but not too much at one time, because that's what creates the a lot more wave than what we have if I did that. My yarn was tangling, and I just did 1. So now we got 2. 1, 2, and as you can see, this goes really fast. It's probably going to be about 10 minutes, maybe 10 minutes per earring. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1 more next, and we're almost done. And I don't have a real tight tension on my hook. It's just a normal tension. I don't have it real loose though either. Because I do want the earrings to look like they have a nice symmetrical stitch. And I'm going to be honest, I haven't crocheted with thread like yarn like this since it's probably 11. when my grandmother taught me. She actually taught me on some thread like yarn like this. That's probably why when I saw this yarn at a Goodwill, my daughter was shopping, and she loves to look at all kinds of things like my mother-in-law and my mom do. I'm not a good shopper. My daughter's a good shopper. My mother-in-law was a good shopper. My mom was a good shopper for deals, and I have zero patience for that. Not that I'd have zero patience for the deals. It's hard for me. It's not my forte. Okay, so I just got to look here. 2, and then we got 1. Okay, and then we started with the 2 right there, remember? So now we got to join with a slip stitch. It's going to be hard. There we go. I got it through. There we go. So this earring is almost done. Isn't that looking nice? It's a little bit wavy, but it's okay. All I got to do is finger press it and it'll be fine. So chain 2, 1, 2, and then we're going to go right back into that same stitch. Put our hook through, bring it through, and then slip stitch into this stitch right here. Maybe. There we go. I'm going to set this down and leave a nice size yarn tail because I am going to weave it in. But I'll pull this through. Here we go. And this is done. Now let me just finger press it. You see how nice that's laying now, just finger pressed. And it's another one all done. See, same size. Came out very nicely. And of course now I have to do another one because we have to have matching, right? And so because we crocheted over this here, make this a little bit smaller. Because we crocheted over this here, all I have to do is snip it off. So we're going to snip that right off. And this one here, so if you take a look, this is kind of the back side of it. And this is the front side of it. You can just tell the stitches look a little bit nicer. So then what I do is I'll go through like here and bring my yarn down. Again, I keep saying yarn, it's really thread. And then I gotta poke this back up because that's my little hook spot. But then I'll start I'll maybe weave across over here and then down a little bit and then over just about 4 or 5 spots, and then I'm going to cut it off. Okay, so that's how you do this with a thread yarn. That's already laying nice. See how nice that's laying? And there's 3 of them, all done. So I'm going to get rid of this, and then I'm going to show you now on just some worsted yarn how to do the same pattern so that maybe you can see the stitches better if it wasn't clear to you, okay? Okay, so here's our worsted yarn. So we're going to do the magic circle. We just bring our yarn around. Okay, put our hook through, bring the yarn through, and then we hold it. Just got to make sure I have my right stuff here. Keep holding it. Bring your hook through, and then put your yarn through here and bring it tight. You make your knot, okay? And that makes it a nice little slip knot. Okay, so now we're going to start over again here. We're going to chain 1. Remember, it doesn't count as anything. Then we're going to do 12 single crochet right inside of here. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And it's the same. See, it looks the same. Now we're going to pull this and make her a circle. There we go. Get my yarn ready, and then we're going to, this was my chain 1 that didn't count as anything, so I got to get my hook right in here. There we go. Bring it through, and then slip stitch. And now we've made our circle. Okay, and again we're going to chain 1. Doesn't count as anything. And then we're going to go right back in here and we're going to do 2 single crochet. Remember, in each stitch around, there's 1. Oop, there we go. 2, and 2 single crochet in the next one. See that? Right here is our next our next stitch. Just gonna make sure we do 2 in each one. In this round, oops, there we go, I caught my yarn. There we go. And if you're going to do a coaster, this is a great way, or a basket, this is a great way to start it off. This is how you do it. This is how you make a circle and enlarge a circle without getting it all wavy. You do the 2 stitches in each stitch around the first round, and then you add you only start increasing it by the initial stitches that you had. Like I had 12, so that each round you're going to increase 12. Okay, so since we did the first, we use the first stitch here as our single crochets, and then we just do our slip stitch right into here. If I can get it through, there we go. And that closes off this round. And of course I could make this smaller right now, the circle, if I wanted to, but that's round 2. There is round 2. So now we're going to do round 3. And round 3, remember, is just another, just like we just did, except it's 2 single crochet in one and 1 single crochet in the next. So let's go around here. Chain 1 doesn't count as anything. And then right in the same spot, 2 single crochet. That chain 1 just gives you, and then 1 single crochet in the next stitch. 2 single crochet in the next stitch. The chain 1 at the beginning, again, it closes it up nicely, but it also helps be able to bring your hook right back into that first stitch easily. Okay, 1, and then 2 in this one. And if you continue doing 2 stitches in each one to make it bigger faster, you would have a lot of wave to your circle. So that's why you have to just have the 1 in between, and then the next one is 2. And you can see it looks a little bit wavy right now, but as soon as we're done, we're gonna flatten it out. And it's going to be just fine. It just looks a little bit wavy right now. 2, 1, 2 in the next, 1, 2 in the next. Oops. Help if I grab my yarn. 1, almost done. 1, 2, 1, and then we got to do 2 here, 2, and we are going to join with our slip stitch. So again, it's a little bit, all I gotta do is finger press it and we're flat. See that? And then what we did to end this off is we did our chain 2 and we slip stitch right back into that stitch and slip stitch into here, and then we had cut our yarn off and we bring it through all the way. And if this was an earring, I would weave in my ends. There we go. And you could, like I said, if you really wanted to lay flat, you could start this. You could you know, put a book on it if you really wanted it, but I mean it's laying flat, as you can see. It's flat. So here's my little cute little ones, my little cute little gold ones. Yeah, I didn't finish weaving in that end yet. But there you go. Here's our cute little earrings. I gotta make sure which way is the right way. There you go. Get them laying flat. But I hope that you enjoyed this cute little pattern and make some for yourself. Take care. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And this pattern will be for free on patternprincess.com. Come join us.